Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Let me play my theme song really quickly. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. We are here. Those who work a more corporate infrastructure, Friday is probably your day before you head into the weekend. Those of you who work in entrepreneurship, Friday is just another day. You have the tendency to work every day, all day, no matter what day of the week it is. But happy Friday. You all who know me know that I love Friday. I was born on a Friday. And I just like the day. I like the end of the week feeling and the reset, etc. So before I go any further, I just want to say a really quick prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for waking us up this morning. Thank you for allowing us to be on this side of earth. We appreciate you. We love you. We ask for your continuous protection. We ask for your continuous guidance, your continuous love, your continuous peace. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. So now that we got that out the way, it's important that we say that morning prayer because who are we without the Creator? We're absolutely nothing. What do we have without the approval of God? Absolutely nothing. So, all that to say that, one time I was writing, I wrote something. This was just kind of like just writing, and I didn't put this in my book, but when I release another book, I'm going to write about racism in America because racism in America it's a disease, but most of all, it's such a common disease. That means that in America, people are so consistent with racism and it was approved through the government. So like we're asking a lot of folks, are wondering like why won't the country stop being racist? Well, if we're founded on racism, then it's going to be very hard and difficult to not be the thing that we are found upon. So racism is not going anywhere. But what has to happen is people have to start understanding that racism isn't going anywhere and be okay with that and stay away from it and understand too that white people don't get penalized for being racist. So if white people don't like black people, that's not a problem. The systemic part of racism is that you don't like black people, you're ignorant, you have a racial bias toward black people. Now you as a loan officer are denying black people loans. Now you as a sheriff are locking up black people to meet your quota. Now you as a doctor is contributing to the mortality rate of black women during birth. Now you as the judge is continuing giving black people a higher sentence than anyone else. So this is the systemic part of racism that people are fighting. People are fighting the system. The KKK, it's so funny that we hear about all these black men and their sexual deviances, but you don't ever hear about the KKK, what they do, what positions they hold, and the effects that it had on them and their community, etc. But every time a black man screw a woman, it's prime time news, it's prime time television. I'm confused, you know. And this is why I don't get caught up into that fake ass feminism. I know the role, but even in the space of feminism, what people need to understand is, and I can be pro women and pro progression of women. I don't want you to think that I'm not that. But what we have to be understanding of is don't separate yourself from the black man or black children or black anything for any other movement where you are singular. That's the problem. Don't separate yourself from your family in any other movement where you are singular, where you are the only beneficiary. If this is the thing, as a woman, you can have two children. You can have a son and you can have a daughter. You need both of them to be treated properly in society. Not one of them, both of them. So, anyways, let's move on. Here's where we're going to go with this. There was a story that has grown viral. Also, my Instagram family, good to see you. I'm speaking on YouTube, but I found a way to connect Instagram as well. So, shout out to anyone who's tuned in on Instagram. I really appreciate that. It warms my heart to connect with my Instagram family as well. Sometimes you all will catch me doing my show in my dining area, which is why you see what kitchen and dining walls and stuff. I said years ago that um, I was going to build a space in my home that was full of creativity. Everywhere I turn, that I will be able to utilize my space. I will use a camera. I won't have you know, any space that doesn't have a reflection of me. I'm still working on some areas, but this is it. This is me. This is who I am. I love black people. I love the elevation of black people. That's important to me forever. It's who I am. And one of the things that I wish a lot of young folks come to terms with sooner than later is knowing who you are. When you know who you are, you're not easily influenced, manipulated, or tricked into being things that you are not. But if you're going to have continuous identity issues, that means if you never find solidarity within yourself about who you are, you're going to always struggle. People are going to always pull you this way, and you're going to be with this person and that person and up and down, and you're going to try this and try that. Now, don't get me wrong, as a human being, you have the ability to be a chameleon. As a human being, you can be all things. You want to be a nurse, you want to be, a DJ. You have the ability, if you have the capacity, intellectually, emotionally, mentally, etc. You can do those things. But knowing who you are is important. Anyways, this story right here, I'm going to share this video. I want you all to see it. It's a woman, a white woman, at a playground with her child. She's gone viral. She's gone viral because she has, hi Demetrius, good to see you. Happy Friday. She's gone viral because she called a young child, this was a black child, the N word. This is why my friends would tell you I'm not a fan of the N word. The reason why I'm not a fan of it is because, in the words of Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, no matter how you pimp it. See, Dr. Dyson said, we pimped that word. We've sliced it. We've turned it into our own. It means something. It's my brother. It's my sister. No, it's not. Don't call me the N word unless you're ready for me to be one towards you. So it's like we want to create the environment where the N word is this positive nature, but it is negative. And I can guarantee you that I can almost do a study where I raised two boys. One boy, I call him the N word every day for 2 years straight. I don't even name him, I just call him nigga. And one boy, I call him king every day for 2 years straight. I can guarantee you we can see the difference between the behavior of these two boys. I can put money on it. I wish I had went into research because I have all types of research theories where We can prove the behavior of, we can prove people's behavior, personality, based on not just environment, thought process, speech, all of that. Americans in general have such a negative speech. Break a leg, you know, devil's advocate. It's never, let me be the angel's advocate right for a second. It's never, oh my God, perform so well that I hope you give the audience healing. It's go break a leg. Crazy. Crazy damn society. But it's speech. In the beginning, God said, let there be light, and there was light. So why do we speak so much darkness over ourselves? God said, let there be light through his voice. Let there be light. So why do we speak so much darkness? Anyways, let me get to this story. So the woman calls the young boy N-word, but here's where it gets good. I'm going to show you the video. So don't, you know my motto, don't take my word for it. Look at the video.
All right, that's what you say.
She's crazy, number one. Look at the video. Look at the video.
Did you call the child the nigger word? It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay.
Nigger.
All right, that's what you say.
You go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigger?
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you. Call him a nigger, the child?
What the fuck you talking
Did you call the child the nigger word?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business.
Here's where it gets good. I need to come to the camera so you can hear me as closely as possible. It gets good after she calls the child the N-word. After the internet began to have vibrations behind what's going on, everybody is aware. It's just the story just gets shared over and over. And people are ridiculing her. You know, oh, you shouldn't have done this, and you shouldn't have said this. And look what white folks have done. They have raised money for her. She's at it says 93,000 right here, but to be very honest with you, she is at about $130,000 as of this morning. So this is one of the reasons that I want Black people in general to understand that racism will not be removed. Look at the reward behind this. When you think about the Dylan Roof situation, he goes into a church, he kills people from the church. The police officers take him to go get food afterwards. Oh, are you hungry? That's insane. Who goes and take a mass murderer to get food after they've killed 9 Black people? Also, articles have written recently. I read one article probably about a week ago that stated that white people don't have the same sense of empathy as others. And I can almost identify with, I can almost see historically where there's just this deep lack of empathy. You don't call a child the N-word when you have an intellectual brain and you also have empathy. I see kids all the time. I think these some badass kids. I don't, I think they're bad. I'm like, God damn, where they mom at? If I'm at a place or somewhere, but I don't I don't want to destroy them. I don't want to fight them and have aggression towards them because obviously I'm healthier in my head than this woman is. She's an idiot. But you want to know what's so powerful about her being an idiot? If is that if you put me next to her, people would think that she's the one with the intellect. If you put me next to her, people would think that she's the one with the intellect. This is why racism is a terrible disease. It's psychotic. Who would want to get upset with a kid and be like, he's a nigger. This is a nigger. This kid is a nigger. That's crazy. And as a people, it's crazy that we use it on our children. Nigga, nigga, nigga. What's up, nigga? Nigga, what's up, nigga? What's going on, nigga? Nigga, 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 nigga. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, I'm going to move on because she's raised about $130,000 so far. She Racism is a disease. The book that I'm writing about racism, it almost is more so about Black people having 100% detachment from white acceptance. Like, detach yourself from any form of white acceptance. That's job, that's Christianity, that's anything that you believe, any notion that you believe that white is right. It has to be like cleansed out of your system. You can't walk around your children is it's harmful for their mental psychology. I think the title I was thinking about, I had three different titles. I don't know if it was How to Survive Without White People or Rejecting Whiteness or something along with, you know, how to live without being accepted by white people. When you have that understanding, you honestly you start to feel better about all of your world, a lot of your identity, even the Grammys. When you read and hear about the Grammys, oh, this person didn't win a Grammy, and all the black people got snubbed, and or the Oscars, oh, the black people didn't get the Oscars. Do we want two black people to get Oscars, or do we want to decrease the mass incarceration number for black skin? Which one do you want? You want a million black men out of prison, or do you want two black people to have the Oscars? Have an Oscar. I don't know. The choice is yours, but you should be asking yourself these questions. And then also too, just to say this really quickly, the programming, like the same programming that they have on whiteness and blackness, we have it too. So for example, white people have been programmed to think less of black people. A lot of white people don't live with black people. They don't live next to black people. America is really segregated. Now when we start making money and we get to spread it, get into certain places, we're a little bit more intertwined, but even then the numbers don't add up. All that to say that the same programming that we have had on them, they have had on us, and it shows up every single day in the real world. They've been programmed to think that they are innocent, even when they're guilty. They've been programmed to think that they are, that when white people do things wrong, there's a deep sense of grace and sensitivity there. That's programming. That's years. This, I'm not even talking about years. This is centuries of programming. So, because we have centuries of programming, how many centuries do you think it's going to require to deprogram? Deprogram. How long do you think it's going to take for your own children to love their features, for your own children to find confidence behind their hair, for your own children to find confidence behind their community? It takes a lot of work. And then, not to mention, you raising your children around other people. So that means that all the shit you putting in them on in the evening, from the time you get off work, 5 to 10, they go to school and then they're introduced to all the other shit that everybody else programming in their house. This is why the work is so constant. This is why people with conscious minds and mindsets should be living in a certain community. I ain't saying you got to be all hotel with the oil and, grow your own food. I mean, it's nice if you can, but you should own a block so you can cultivate community easier, because you need your children to grow up with a certain mindset. And you're going to have the teacher poison them. You're going to have the peers poison them. You're going to have everybody else poisoning your child as you're trying to create the best adult possible. And I'm just saying, I know our parents tried their best with us, and we still went out and made our own choices. But we're living in such an intentional time. We're living in a time where we can be intentional. Now, here's the hard part. When you're a Black person and you are, pro-Black, and you want to have a healthy life, you're going to have to figure out your economics. How will you survive economically? You know, because we all are integrated into a system. We're not out of the system. Even the most hotep brothers and sisters, they still go to um, in white schools. You have Black Student Union. So that means that even my brother, like Dr. Umar Johnson, no matter how pro-Black he is, he goes to schools and teach and educate. His certifications come from schools, white predominant infrastructures to give passing of the tests and psychology and all of this. We are all integrated in a system. The system does not die. So my point is, deprogramming is hardcore necessary, but it's going to take the centuries of deprogramming as it took to program. Just look at the situation with the athlete, Shadir Sanders, Ubridge's son from the Falcons. His son is 21 years old. I told you yesterday. They having a press conference about his son. He's 21. The media vilified Trayvon Martin, and he was a teenager. Trayvon Martin was a teenager walking to his father's house. The media tried to turn him into a thug, said that he was unruly, justifying his death. But you have a 21-year-old man who America is viewing as a child because of his whiteness. This can't be. This is, the whole country is sick. It's not like, you have 10 people that have the intellectual ability to see, and then you have 3 that are racist. You have a country of racists. You should be surprised when you do see a person who, who's fully capable of looking at an individual outside of their creed, their color. It's not possible in America. When I meet people, I'm trying to figure out what kind of person am I dealing with right here. Am I dealing with an intelligent person? Am I dealing with an unintelligent person? Am I dealing with an educated person, an uneducated person? Am I dealing with a person who has empathy, who has no empathy? I will never forget, I was working a job and I was um, going for it wasn't a raise. I found out that I was being underpaid. So I went to my supervisor, who was a white man. I went to him, I said, look, I found out that the rate for this position, I'm being underpaid and I'm going to get this rectified. When I tell you, I was giving this man my best fucking Martin Luther King, I have a dream. I'm not lying to you. I want you to hear me. I gave this man my best fucking Martin Luther King, I have a dream. He looked at me and said, the numbers are the numbers. That was mother. We talking about all types of benefits that's associated to people having proper wages. This, when you are paid properly, you have the ability to take care of yourself, go to the doctor, go to the dentist. This is why proper compensation is important. So having the intelligence to know what your worth is, and I don't mean that Instagram shit, I mean know what the job pays. I don't care what you think you're worth. If the job only pays this amount, they're not gonna. If you work in a job and the job is a $80,000 job, they're not gonna say, "Hey, yeah, you know what? We will give you $150,000 for an $80,000 a year job." So don't fall into that Instagram trap of knowing your worth. Know what the job pays, and I didn't at the time until I did. So I got so when that man looked at me, he said, the numbers are the numbers. It was like there was no compassion, no understanding. He was being honest. He was just basically saying, look, the numbers are the numbers. This ain't personal to you, but it's personal to me because what people don't understand about Black women is we leave 100, 200, supposedly we leave over $200,000 off the table by the time we retire. That's because we're underpaid, but we start off underpaid. But then you have to learn your industry, learn where your industry makes the most money. What state does it make the most money? Should you go there? How are you going to make your money go long for you? That's a personal responsibility. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like, as Black people, young Black people, I don't like how we come together for nonsense. A funeral's happening. Oh yeah, we coming together. I got to go see everybody. We should be coming together frequently. Hey, what's going on with you? What's going on with school? What's going on with your business? What's going on with your children? Why we got to wait till somebody died to connect with one another? Why you got to wait till you need money to reach out to people? We should be talking. We should be talking about, well, what's the business idea that you have in mind? Well, I'm thinking about starting a car, opening up a used car lot. Good. Well, what's the benefits? And then what's the return? What's the upfront cost? What's the legalities behind it? We should be having the proper conversations. We should not be satisfied with, you know, things that aren't going to work in our household, in our community. I'm looking at my Instagram. My sister says the problem is black people are competitive with other blacks, but bow down to any other race. This is the point. And I'm not going to deny what you're saying, but what I will say is the programming that white people have on black people is the same programming that black people have on black people. We have been programmed to believe that we're going to short each other. We've been programmed to believe that we can't, that we're going to get cheated from out of the deal. I look at Mary J. Blige and her best friend, her former best friend. It bothers me that they have that scenario happening because you don't need a judge to mediate morals between you and a friend. You don't need a jury to mediate morality between you and a friend. Tell you this, one time I had a family member that was having a mental breakdown and they damaged someone's property on my block. And when they damaged this person's property, it's only right that we as a family acknowledge that we have damaged somebody's property. Now, although the family member is not me, I'm not Jesus Christ. I ain't paying for your sins, but because we are family and this is my community, I have an interest in making sure that this is resolved. I go to the woman and the woman and we talk and she says, well, the damage is, $2,000. I said, well, this is an old house. Are you going to get a brand new, door? And all of that. I said, here's what my recommendation is. I'll give you 24 hours to determine if this is okay with you. Other than that, I'm moving on. But I will give you $500 in a cashier check as well as a letter saying that this is resolved and closed and we are moving on. And you can let me know if that is acceptable for you or not. Now, the thing is, even if she thought that she was about to get, way more than what the value is, I'm not a lumber person. I'm not a builder. I'm not a construction company. I'm not here to pretend like I'm finna fix everything that's wrong with your house up. I'm here to resolve the issue that we created. And guess what she did? And I was so proud of us as a people, me and her both. She said, I accept that. I said, okay, come. This is my number. This is my email address. I'll draft up a contract and I'll get you your cashier check tomorrow. That was it. I don't need no white man to tell me how to act. I don't need no white man to tell me how to resolve no issues in my own community. I don't need no white woman to tell me how to resolve issues in my own community. This can be resolved. What is it that you want? You want compensation to get something resolved that was broken? Let's fix it. So that's number one. So the next thing is I kind of was talking a lot. It's Friday, very chill day, I guess. But I'm just going to share these two stories with you really fast, so you all can go about your day. But this story is about Diddy. According to what is being shown right now, Diddy confirms he rejected the federal prosecutor's sex trafficking plea deal ahead of trial. With days before jury selection is set to start in Diddy's sex trafficking trial, a federal judge received confirmation that the Bad Boys Records founder denied a plea deal from federal prosecutors. Reports Diddy confirmed in court before a judge by stating, yes, I did. Diddy is aware he would potentially serve more time in prison if he's convicted since he denied the deal. Thursday's hearing Also touched on jury selection, in which judge stated jury selection will begin on Monday, May 5th at 8 a.m. I just want to know, how the hell did they get sex trafficking out of what is happening with him? I'm confused. Are you all confused? How do we go from, you know, how do we get to sex trafficking? I have something. Hold on one second. Sorry. I apologize. But how do we get to sex trafficking? My thing is, I know women and men that would have been at Diddy house so fast, he wouldn't have to convince them, drug them, persuade them. All he had to do is say, "Yeah, you come." Everybody has an interest in fame in America. Fame is a ruler in our country. So I don't know. I was thinking that maybe you all would tell me, flying women out from a state to another state for those types of activities is considered sex trafficking. Okay. So, but the girls are online saying, "I want to be flued out." So how is it sex trafficking when the girls are saying, "I want to be flued out"? If they're saying, "I want to be flued out," then how is it sex trafficking? Sex trafficking, see, this is what bothers me about this verbiage. If a woman is saying, "I want to be flued out," and she does want to be flued out by a millionaire, how in the hell is it now considered sex trafficking? In order for me to get the hoe to the house, I had to fly her out. Oh, first of all, if y'all think I could get crazy, that's number one. But at the same time, my grandfather, he's even more crazy. Like, he says some off the wall stuff. You'd be like, why would you say that? But anyways, I don't know how we got to sex trafficking. That's just number one. But I wanted to show you this story here. Um, Bill Belichick's girlfriend is 24. Big old white man. This is what I'm telling you about racist bias. Everybody in America is racist, and there is no substitute behind it. Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend takes control, halts interview about their relationship origins. She interrupted inquiries about their relationship, emphasizing a protective dynamic that sparked social media chatter about her influence. Critics speculated on motivations and portrayed Hudson as dominating despite scrutiny. She asserted her independence, claiming her achievements are earned. Transitioning from the Patriots, Belichick remains focused on football while Hudson navigates the challenges of public attention, asserting her position in partnership. So let me just say this too. Here's the interview.
Was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No.
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on. Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
Let me tell y'all something. She told the interview people, we're not talking about this. This here's my man, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Mind you, it is nasty as hell for a 24-year-old to be laid up with an 80-year-old man and then be like, this is your grandfather's friend, honey. This is your pawpaw. You know what I'm saying? This your pawpaw. And you sitting around talking about this my man? You sleeping with your pawpaw. That's nasty. That man can have him a 50-year-old woman easily. And don't get it twisted. It's some beautiful 50-year-old women out there that could easily be right by his side, getting that money just like she is. But 24, not to mention, people say, I don't know how long the relationship been going on, but I wanted to show you this so you all can stop lying on men saying that they're predators. She's 24. She has made the decision to be with a senior citizen because of his wealth and his status. Ain't nobody slapped this girl upside the head and said, be with this man. This is her choice. But for some reason, I'm getting two theories as it relates to women in this space. And that is, either he made me do it and I'm an independent woman. Which one are you? Because in Diddy's case, he's on trial because he made everybody do it. I don't rich men who are wealthy don't have to convince and manipulate women to come and hang out with a rich nigga. They don't have to manipulate women to hang out with them. Women want to hang out with them. Men want to hang out with them. I'm not even talking about as being gay. I'm just saying, shit, if Diddy calls some brothers, hey man, damn, Diddy invited us to the cookout, man, I'm headed there. Even if they didn't participate, they'll be like, man, this was wild. I don't know if I can go back to that. But people, our society is infatuated with wealth and fame. So you don't find many people, men or women, who deny the opportunity to hang out with rich people. I want us to be real and realistic about that. They locked this man up, took him away from his family. They say he's a bad guy. They say, he's a horrible person. And I'm not here to dispute his horridness. If he's a horrible person, I'm not here to dispute that. I'm talking about the lines between being a horrible person and illegally having sex. Where's the line? Being a hoe is not illegal from the last time I checked. Being promiscuous is not illegal. Orgies is not illegal. Now, I'm not interested in them. I'm just calling a spade a spade. That kind of space does not interest me. But I didn't know it was illegal. But I know what this is. This has been, let me tell y'all something. Black men's wealth they've been taking their shit. Bill Cosby, take his. Now, let me tell you something. I told people this and I mean this wholeheartedly. If a man raped a woman, one woman is enough to put him away. He doesn't get a chance to rape 6. He doesn't get a chance to rape 8, 12, 30. I don't like sitting at the table and laughing and eating with rapists. So many people want to come and say, you know, Bill Cosby was this kind of person, and you was hanging out with him. And you knew the kind of person he was, and you were still hitting glasses and meeting up and getting dressed. So which one is it? Because you can't tell me how bad Bill is and make me think you're not bad either. Same thing with Diddy. Diddy is a horrible person. Contractually, he's greedy. All of his artists were left with nothing. Meanwhile, you know, he got all the money. So I do believe there's some just some lack. This is what I always believe, and I'm going to end my show right here. This is why I love people who love God. Because when you love the Creator, you know that people are his currency. People are his currency. So you don't want to do, you ain't gonna get away with doing everybody. Just like you don't want nobody playing with your money, God don't want nobody playing with his money. People is God's currency. He can't do nothing with pesos, euros, US dollars. But people, that's his money. Y'all I got women fighting me on the internet talking about women 19 years old, too young to make a decision. Shannon Sharp, 19-year-old Bunny, mama had her own OnlyFans. She's already decided that this is how I'm going to make money. She already decided that. And I'm just trying to figure out how brothers be getting emotionally attached to the hoe. Let me tell you something. A hoe gonna be a hoe, and a trick gonna be a trick. That means that, baby, if you ain't got enough money, you ain't got enough girth, you ain't got enough nothing that's gonna change her identity. Nothing. You don't have it. A hoe gonna be a hoe. Shannon Sharp, what you thought she was gonna be kind? She made money through sex for a living. This is what I always think. This is why I think that some of these spaces are dangerous. It's not to say, oh, if you're a stripper, you don't have morals. It's not to say, oh, if you are such and such, you don't have morals. It's like once you begin to cross these lines of I'll do anything for money, then it just gets larger and larger. So you be like, you know what? I'm stripping. I'm stripping this summer for money. I got to make some money. I'm stripping this summer. Then you're in a culture, you're in an environment where now you're taking off your clothes, but then you're going a little further sometimes. All right, well, all I got to do is, now we don't usually take off tops and bottoms, but if you go in a room, you get a little bit extra, I get fully naked. You're constantly on this edge of what I'll do for money, and it's nonstop. That's why, in true honesty, if I can tell a young woman anything, I would say don't get started. Because I keep telling y'all, and I've said this a million times, when you start playing in the devil's playground, you got to remember you are in hell. Getting into them spaces, you going into spaces where people paying for coochie. You think now you talking about you told him wrong hole. You just the whole foundation lack a moral standard. We're connected on an immoral standard from the jump. It's not going to work. All that to say, as you can see, this old white man can have his 24-year-old girlfriend, and no one's trying to put him in prison. No one is saying that he is holding her hostage. She's made it loud and clear. This is where I want to be. I don't want you all to forget, if you want to support me, if you have enjoyed any of my videos or teachings or anything, if you just enjoy, anything that I do, on the internet space, feel free to purchase my book. If you want it as a digital download, I don't know if people like read on their iPad. I always, sometimes I, have things on my iPad that I'll just at night, like an old damn lady, just look and stuff like that. But I want support. I want to do this more and more. And um, it's very challenging to talk Black issues, liberations, etc., in a very honest and raw way and not have economic advancement surrounding it. I always like to say, too, you have to keep in mind Malcolm X, Dr. King, anybody that was a part of the civil rights movement, there was no trust fund. They didn't have any money. They were working hard for other people's to benefit from it. If you think about the life of Dr. King, he go around speaking and talking, and they killed him. He didn't even get a chance to see his daughters grow up, his son, his daughter. He didn't even get a chance to see it. Malcolm X, he didn't get a chance to see what his daughters would become. And, he was always in financial distress because the Nation of Islam, they were financially keeping him. And then this is one of the things we don't talk about more, but Malcolm X has so much love for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that he didn't have a business mind behind it. He was a person who was genuinely, for the people, but he never thought that, I need to have these things, because he was so rooted in God. And when you're rooted in God, you just know God to be a supplier. When you're rooted in God, you just know God to be a banker. So all that to say that I also have a brand, the Freedom Company. If you like t-shirts, I have beautiful t-shirts. I design great t-shirts. If you are a principal or assistant principal and you're looking for a motivation for Black youth, please have me at your school. I have a speaker's fee, and I would love to come and motivate young children and give them their reality of making good choices and going far in life, and not allowing even their surroundings to stop them from becoming the thing that they're supposed to be. So all that to say that I'll see you guys on Monday. Don't forget, this is the last couple weeks of the Madam President show. So please stay connected with me via online so that we can continue to connect. I believe I'm going into the more so the podcast space. I don't know how often. I don't want to do the live shows anymore. I'm just going to have to record, upload, and move on. All right. I appreciate you. I hope you all have a good weekend. Don't forget to sign up at madampresident.com. Tell somebody about the show. Tell somebody about me. And I appreciate you so much. And I look forward to seeing you all on Monday. All right. I'm out.